Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. Race number 8 at Mountaineer on Saturday is the Grade 3 $500,000 West Virginia Derby for 3-year-olds, a race you can bet with your very own DRF Bets account. Sign up, get $150. It's easy. Go to drf.com/bet. Let's take a look at this field of 3-year-olds hoping to start their second season off right. Remember, there's no justify and lots of money still to be had for these 3-year-olds. The morning line favorite, who else? Bob Baffert's the number 5 Once on Whiskey. Matt, this horse stretched out successfully for the first time in the Grade 3 Los Alamitos Derby, and it seems like 1 1/8 miles is just what the doctor ordered. He was really running at the end of that race.
I think that was the most impressive piece of that victory, was just the way that he finished that day. I liked everything about it. I don't think this is going to be any sort of an issue shipping, although it should be noted that his only real kind of dud to date came in that race 2 starts back where he shipped into Kentucky. So do with that what you will, but I think this horse makes a lot of sense in here. I think you can totally understand him being the favorite. I guess the question comes down to, when you look at it from what he's accomplished on the track and from a speed figure standpoint, he doesn't have any real edge on this field.
A couple of other horses coming out of the West Virginia Derby, including the close runner-up, the number 2 draft pick, a Keeneland grad, Joe Talamo aboard, 3-1 second choice on the morning line. And you can argue this point with me if you'd like. I thought he ran just as well as the winner in the Los Alamitos Derby. I think that Joe gave that odds-on favorite Axeman a little bit too much respect, and he went after that horse very early. He put Axeman away early, then had to deal with a 50-1 shot that was hounding him turning into the stretch. Then he had to deal on Once on Whiskey, who had all the momentum coming at him after getting that good setup. I liked how draft pick galloped out after that race in front of Once on Whiskey, and that makes me think, along with this pedigree, that he can get this distance despite blowing a big late lead.
Yeah, I don't really have any question about that. And I have no knock against draft pick. I actually like him. I think he's a very talented horse. I think he's one of the better ones. I could even make the case that he's every bit as good as the other horse in the Urton barn. I believe that's Core Beliefs, who we saw in the Haskell most recently. I think draft pick is right there from a talent standpoint. I guess, again, the question comes down to, do you think that 3-1, the morning line price, is that enough to tempt you? Because on paper, he doesn't have a tremendous edge on anyone else in this field either.
The third horse coming out of the Los Al Derby was that aforementioned 54-1 shot, the number 4 King Cause, who took his shot at draft pick on the turn and was turned away. What makes you think anything's going to be different this time around? Doug O'Neill likes to treat these horses like they're good horses, and you have to respect that.
Yeah, absolutely you do. I don't really have an answer for you there. I don't see any way that this horse kind of reverses the course. He's run 4 consecutive races between 76 and 78 on the Buyer's scale. He's done that going 1 turn and 2 turns. I don't see any real improvement from this horse, but you know what? These connections, they have surprised at big prices in the past.
3 horses coming out of the Los Alamitos Derby, 3 horses coming out of the Iowa Derby, including High North, who won the Iowa Derby coming from just off of the pace, winning at 1 1/16 miles. Now, I know our colleague Mike Beer isn't really a big fan of this horse going a little bit longer. He's going to have to go 1/16 of a mile further, but High North's got a good tactical gear, and he's got Brad Cox in his corner. Here's the Formulator fact for Brad Cox. Past 2 years, last out winning 3-year-old, second off the layoff, dirt routes, that's limited positive. 38% winners, 2.5 ROI. That 84 buyer for the Iowa Derby, it came back a little bit light.
Yeah, it certainly did. You're going to need to improve off that. I suppose if you do like this horse, though, you at least have a few figures in his page that at least make him competitive in here. You have that 91 in the Northern Spur, 3 starts back. You also have the 85 in the Risen Star when he finished 5th. I agree about the distance. He's probably better going a little bit shorter, but I don't think he's incapable of getting 9 furlongs. May not be his best distance, but it's also something that you're going to have to just keep an eye on at Mountaineer on Saturday. We've talked about it, it seems like, for the past 4 years running, that the outside has always been where you want to be on West Virginia Derby Day. And guess what? Breaking from post 9, I can't imagine Florent Giroux is going to be in a hurry to get away from there. We'll see how the day plays out. And obviously, you got to pay attention. But based on what we've seen in recent memory, I would venture a guess that it's probably going to be similar.
As we take a look at the field for the Grade 3 West Virginia Derby, I wonder how this pace is going to shape up, because I'm going to kind of disagree with the Timeform US pace projector just a little bit. That red bar indicates it's a fast pace, and they've got the number 8 Mr. Freeze out there on the lead. But I was so impressed with the way Mr. Freeze came from last to first to win 2 starts back that I don't think Dale Romans and Robbie Alvarado are in any hurry to make the front. If they do make the front, I don't think they'll be going that fast.
No, I agree with that, and I think a lot of that has to do with Timeform has that race in the Iowa Derby very, very fast as far as the pace was concerned. So I wonder if that's kind of why the pace projector is translating out this way. Mr. Freeze, though, I think I agree with you that he was more effective and more potent coming from off the pace as opposed to being close. I suppose the good thing is, and the good news, even if he is a little bit closer to the pace, I don't think that precludes him from winning. I think he is versatile. I guess the question becomes, do you think he is so lightly raced? He's only gone out 3 times, been at the exacta, none of the occasions. He's won 2 out of 3. I just wonder, is he quite good enough to handle the best horses in here, particularly the 2 coming in from Southern California?
I think he's very promising, and I know Romans is high on him. I wouldn't be surprised if he jumps up and runs a very, very big race. The 6 Rugby Man exits the Grade 3 Dwyer, a race in which Mendelssohn flopped, but Firenze Fire was doing what he wants to do, and that's run a 1-turn mile, and he just absolutely ran off the screen. This is going to be Rugby Man's first start around 2 turns. He still seems a little bit green to me, but I think there is some ability here.
Yeah, there probably is. I've never been a big fan of his. I didn't like him in that most recent start, and I truth be told, don't really like him in this spot either, but he is lightly raced. He still kind of feels like he's figuring things out, and if you think you're going to get a forward move here from what he's already done from a speed figure standpoint, he becomes very, very interesting.
Before we get to our top picks, we'll talk at 2 of the longest shots on the board. The 7 Palmier going turf to dirt, but the only dirt route was at Mountaineer against Maidens, and he won by 12. He also won in glacial time.
I was going to say, if he wins, you'll be looking at a $100 mutual.
Maybe Caloric is going to show speed, stretching out off a 6-furlong race on the Tapeta at Presque Isle Downs. He was part of the pace picture at 206 to 1 in the Ohio Derby, and he backed up badly.
I don't think this horse is terrible. I am terrified at the distance. I don't think this works for him.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the West Virginia Derby. I gave you all the reasons why I think Draft Pick's going to improve. Thought he did all the running in the Los Al Derby. Thought he ran just as well as Once on Whiskey, and I know he can sit a trip. It's just key for Joe to get him off of the inside. As for Lionite, this horse looked good winning the Prairie Mile. And last time out, there are going to be some folks that say, well, he got a fast pace. He's supposed to rally. I thought he had a little bit of trouble in the stretch.
Yeah, I kind of do too. I just feel like he got stacked up in behind a wall of horses when it looked like he had run, and I really think if Santana could have produced him earlier, he would have, and he would have made it a little bit closer. Instead, he had to wait, and then he angled down toward the inside. To me, this is one of those instances where, look, the distance might not be ideal for him. Maybe 9 furlongs is going to be too far, but I think he's a little bit better than that most recent run indicates. I'm not totally sold on the other favorites, maybe with the exception of the California horses. I think they deserve to be the first and second choices in here. But I think Lionite might get a little bit dismissed in the wagering. And again, the distance, perhaps that's going to be his end all or sort of his undoing. But I think he's better than what it looks on paper. Maybe he floats up from the 6 to 1.
6 to 1 on the line, reunites with the rider who was aboard for that victory 2 starts back. I think you would bet him at a nice price. And who else would you use?
I would use mainly the 2 California horses, preferably Draft Pick over Once on Whiskey, but I would be honest with you, splitting hairs. I think the difference there is the fact that Draft Pick has a little bit more tactical ability, maybe so, than Once on Whiskey. So I went 1-2-5-9.
I'm hoping Draft Pick turns the tables on Once on Whiskey. I'm going 2-5-8-9 in the Grade 3 West Virginia Derby, race number 8 at Mountaineer on Saturday, a race you can play with your own DRF Bets account. Please sign up. It's easy. Go to drf.com/bet and earn $150. Approximate post time for the West Virginia Derby, 5:35 Eastern. Good luck.